I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
The podcast put together with Red Raider fans in mind. This is the Tech Talk Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Signature Stag, your one-stop man shop for legendary game day gear.
Dear Texas Tech Red Raiders, I do not dare you to move from the line of scrimmage for a pre-snap penalty.
Nah, please don't.
At the goal line. Please don't move. I don't dare you.
We've done that. We're done with that. How about we're
done with it.
Yeah, how about we've already burned our quota. You know what? We're probably going to have 10 or so of those this year.
You were being efficient. You were like, just knock these out at the start of the year.
Well, we got these games in control. Hey, that song there, Switchfoot, that's the concert this weekend. If you're like, I just can't put my finger on which Switchfoot song I know. There it is right there.
It is funny. I know you're not meaning it this way, but you could also mean it this way. Like, no, that's pretty much the concert. There's a couple others you'll know, but that's the concert.
It's not much different than many of the others.
This on the chat line.
Good.
That was this.
Again,
that was
not
for this
an hour and 45-minute set where you stand there for the whole time waiting on the song.
I'm just saying. I hope they slip in some Hello Hurricane album because that was the best one. That was for this texter. Switchfoot, was Nickelback busy? See, if I didn't like the pick, I would have asked if like Reliant K or Hawk Nelson or Need to Breathe,
Creed.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. That's they're like the halfway point. Like if you're doing a scale,
no, for real.
Where are they? Where are they from the Switchfoot to Nickelback scale? And Creed's somewhere in the middle. That's funny. You know what? I'll say this though, because not everyone is going to like every single concert, but something that I think they've done a really good job about, and I think I'm sure we've talked about this before. They do a good job of giving a little something for everybody.
Mm-hmm. Well, Texas Country earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Waka Flocka.
Well, that's what this is. Waka Flocka was gonna be here this one, and
they've
had him before though. He's a regular.
Yeah, absolutely.
I will say, if you were pumped for Waka Flocka, this is probably not the switch. If you the switch,
and I don't know. We don't know yet about the other concerts. Got 3 home games left after this one. Maybe Waka Flocka had to push back a week, or who knows. But he had Too Short last week or last home game. I mean, he kept checking a lot of boxes.
Bobby Hot Dogs had this. Gus, I hope you don't use your garage for the same activities Clint uses his for.
No. I even had.
Hey, don't acknowledge it that way. Joke's on you. I don't have a garage.
I was just straight mechanic work last night.
Nice.
A disappointing result in the endeavor. I had to retrench and reload on some tools, get the right gear. It's a whole lot easier when you get the right stuff. Need the right size wrenches, all the things there.
Shelly had this question. Hey, Clonk. Did Bro debut his new quad corner in this week's Recon episode? He did not. I do not know what this is. So if you fill me in, it will be greatly appreciated. I'm sure it's entertaining. And it's if it's as entertaining as him being a thigh guy with college football players, I would like to hear about it. This on the chat line, this is interesting. My thought about Tech's college football playoff seeding. We'll get to some bowl projections in the second hour, by the way. My thought about Tech's college football playoff seeding is 5 would be ideal. Host a first round, win, and advance to play 4 in the Cotton Bowl, which is as close to another home game as possible.
Yep, I like the sound of that. I do. Both weeks of it. I like that.
I like the
2 home games.
I like the thought of it.
Yeah.
Except I would prefer just to have the bye. I would prefer to just be a top 4 team. I'll be honest.
It'd be hard to complain about it. It'll mean a lot. It would mean a lot to all of us to win a college football playoff game. Mm-hmm. And so am I willing to sacrifice a bye for a win in the 5 through 12 round game thing, no. I want the bye. Mm-hmm. If we run the table, I'll take my chances getting top 4. And you know what? Maybe the flip side of what the texter's asking for. Golly, I can't imagine that game at home, December 19th, December 20th. Mercy. But
you won't see me down if you're the 5 seed or the 6 seed.
What if we're the 4 and we're in the Cotton Bowl the next week, hosting the winner of the 5-12 game? That'd be okay too. Mm-hmm. Not quite the home game I'm interested in, but there are. By the way, this is like talking about types of barbecue, right? Hey, they're both pretty good. Okay. Mm-hmm. I might prefer this one a little more than that one, but
you're talking to the right guy over here. This is a great reference.
8, one's a 9, and one's a 10. All right. So yeah, I may have a preference here, but if the second round game was a Cotton Bowl,
to anybody that's ever like, hey, Texas barbecue is better than Kansas City barbecue, and Kansas City barbecue is looking, hey, we're better than Carolina barbecue, and they're looking over like, hey, we're better than Memphis barbecue, and they're doing the square back to Texas. If you need someone to taste test,
sure,
just
me too.
Come over here. Oh, we were talking about college football playoff. All right,
not many bad.
But no, I'm with you. I think that's a great reference because if I'm not going to, I don't think I will anyways, complain if you're the 5 seed, just because I think if you are perfect, if you are 13-0 and you look great doing it, I'm for my money, you're going to be in the top 4 and you'll get a bye. It's going to be really hard to do that. It's easier said than done. You're going to be favored in most of these games. The nation is certainly taking you seriously right now. You're being talked about a bunch. I mean, it was to the extent that your logo change was something they were talking about on Fox Sports and ESPN and all this stuff. And I mean, 2 years ago at this point, if you had made that brand switch, would they have covered it as much? No. And so
footnote.
Yeah. And so I think if you take care of business, you'll be one of those top 4 seeds. And if I had to guess, you'd probably be right in at 4. And that goes for, I think that would have went for any Big 12 team, although the undefeated numbers in total are dropping week by week and are very thin right now. But at the same time, if you do go undefeated and you come in at number 5, I can't imagine myself just being pissy about it.
No, I agree. We probably would be, knowing that there would be probably a couple or more one-loss teams ahead of us, and so that would be a source of ire, but it all sounds pretty good to me sitting here on October 8th, right? Good problem to have, but yeah, if it comes down to we get to mid-December and we're having that conversation like, no, you know what, hang on a minute. How did that one-loss team get ahead of us?
Yeah, again, it's easy to say that now.
It sounds good in October. It won't be in December.
It is Tech Talk on Double T 97.3.
The podcast put together with Red Raider fans in mind. This is the Tech Talk Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Hour number 2 of Tech Talk. You got us on Double T 97.3, DoubleTSportsNetwork.com, and don't forget about the mobile app brought to you by Happy State Bank. We are live from the First United Bank studio for 2 more hours as we go up to 6 o'clock. Join us on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. You can also call us on the Visual Edge IT hotline. That number is 806-771-0973. If you would like to watch us, you can do so on Fox 34 News Now and on YouTube. Clint, Gus, and Kyler. We got this on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. All sounds great, but let's take care of what's in front of us. We are about to be the hunted going forward. I think you were going to be the hunted, I mean, as soon as you beat Utah, and in some respects, I think you were the hunted on at least the bulk of the opponents on your schedule, just from how big of an off-season story you are. But no doubt, you've got a giant target on your back right now, and for most, I'm not going to say for all, because there's some that have, usually it's from their own fan base, that, if it's not you, it's them, like a BYU type maybe. But for most, you are the one to beat in the Big 12 right now.
Oh, I think so. I think there was an element of that coming in, just the idea that they spent all that money. Mm-hmm. We talked about that back in March. It was the first real exposure to that. Mm-hmm. And when I told you I went to the Tech softball game on Sunday in the Oklahoma State, it was a Tech regular season Sunday game. We had swept the doubleheader on Friday, bad weather on Saturday. Sunday, one game, OSU kicked Tech here. But we took 2 out of 3, et cetera. And OSU fan back here going, put in your $1 million pitcher. Thinking, man, we didn't even – there was a reality to that, but we hadn't even really been fully exposed to it. Softball season was new, hadn't played a football game yet, et cetera. So in that sense, the bullseye's been there from the get-go. We were the, you can see that because, and we've been there through most of our history, wanting to play ourselves as the sort of plucky, poor boy underdog to the haves, right? That's why that's why we played clips from the dramatic win over Nebraska.
And I think you're going to get everyone's
20 years ago today, by the way.
Yeah, I think you're
not feeling old.
I think you're going to get everyone's best shot for that reason, and then especially for this stretch for these teams. I mean, the margin for error in every conference is razor thin, but especially in the Big 12. And how much have we talked about parity in the conference over the last, really since you started that streak of Oklahoma winning their last in the streak with Lincoln Riley, and then the streak on of a different team. You look at Kansas, they cannot lose this week or they are going to be out of the race. Sitting with 2 losses early. No. Next week, whether Arizona State beats Utah or not this week, but especially if they lose in Utah, they cannot lose that game at home.
Right.
I'm really interested to see what BYU is going to be by the time that they get here, but I would venture to guess we're going to be saying the same thing, like they cannot afford a loss in Lubbock at that point. And Utah's already in that boat, right? And you've already seen them. They can't have a loss moving forward. It feels like that's just how thin the margin, and also just how turbulent the Big 12 is. And so all of that together, I think really in this stretch, you're going to get teams' best shot from a couple different angles. And one of them is, yes, because you've turned into the face of the Big 12. Some have said you're the villain of the Big 12.
Sure.
Whatever.
That's what I was alluding
if that's how you,
to. Yes.
If that's how you feel about it, fine.
Yep. Deal with it. Yeah.
And
it's just Kansas has been the basketball villain, right? I mean, it's just
Houston's the basketball villain right now.
They really are.
Yeah. What's interesting? Let me ask you this. You don't have to give a score.
If you're not sure who the villain is, look and see how full your arena is when the villain comes to town.
Yeah.
You'll have a sense of just how villain they are.
Villainous. You don't have to give a score, but speaking of, I do think you've got a Kansas team with their back against the wall already, and it's one thing that they've lost a Big 12 game to Cincinnati, but also from if they were hanging on to, hey, we could lose and maybe sneak in with an at-large, which is going to be really difficult. Well, they already have a non-conference loss to a top 25 Missouri team, but still, you're sitting there with 2 losses from a Big 12 perspective. It's like, all right, well, we're going to have to win the conference to get in the playoff if we think that we have the team to do it. And I do think that they believe that they have a talented enough team to be in the playoffs and to make a run. But back against the wall, Kansas team, gut feeling of how the game goes. Where are you at right now?
Yeah, I think this may be the week that the Red Raiders allow a new high in terms of points, which it's been incredible what we've seen this defense do. That doesn't mean it's the season high. It doesn't mean too many for the Red Raiders to win. But this feels like the first game that I've wanted to go. This might be the week you hit the over. Again, I'm not betting on any of it, but I think this Kansas offense can be hard to play against. I really do think. I mean, and they do some really good things. I mean, it's really the third week in a row that we've played that veteran coach who's always has his team ready to go. It seems like always has.
That's true. I didn't even think about that.
I say third week in a row, third game in a row for us. The Utah and Houston, and now Kansas, like veteran coaches that have just won a lot of games and just, you know,
they've been around the block a time or two
and been very successful. And so I think there's a thread of commonness there, but. This Kansas, this may be the week that we win a game 43-28, you know, and that's okay. I think we're roughly a 2-touchdown favorite in this game, and but it feels like that. I do think that what Coach McGuire was leading with, the way they play, so much shifting and kind of being tricky a little bit, and just hard to defend, being noisy as crap, all of us. Me included. I don't sit in the press box. I'm out there with the people. Us being noisy and making that place cantankerous is really going to make it hard for them to change plays and deal with being in their stances a long time, etc. We need to do to them what Utah did to us in terms of pre-snap junk.
We'll circle back to that after a play of the day. It is Tech Talk on Double T 97.3.
It's every Red Raiders' favorite podcast. This is the Tech Talk Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
It is Tech Talk on Double T 97.3, DoubleTSportsNetwork.com, and the Double T 97.3 mobile app, brought to you by Happy State Bank. Gus, do you know what today starts?
It's a long stretch of the old pigskin flying around.
49 consecutive days with a college or NFL game.
That's 7 weeks, Clint.
Wow. Gus,
7 weeks.
The breaks?
That'll push up to early December, right? That'll push up to, about right. Yeah. Thanksgiving.
Yeah, you're better at math than I am. You have not stopped talking about what's taken over Wednesday night action, because now it's weekday Conference USA.
I was hoping to get another Kent State game, see how they've improved.
Well, tonight you get Missouri State at Middle Tennessee State. You get Liberty at UTEP, which are you both of them?
Dig in on that?
I probably am.
Have you broken it down yet?
Certainly the Missouri State versus Middle Tennessee State, because it's on ESPN2.
Man, yeah.
I mean, which one are you more excited about, Gus?
Missouri State, just Missouri State.
Gus, I know you're wanting to roll your eyes, but dude, these 4 teams are combined 5-15. These are the Titans of college football. I'm tired of your weekday football slander. It's an appetizer to get you going towards the weekend for a reason. And I for one, am here for it. Hey, hockey started last night.
It did.
Did you take any of that in?
No.
Panthers already picked up a win?
I actually did listen to
Lord Stanley, stay on.
I did listen to them last night for about 10 minutes. I flipped it over to the NHL channel because what surprised me was that they were off and running early. They must have started at 6 o'clock, maybe even 5 o'clock local time. They're in South Florida, and so I flipped it over and I'll be dang, they were already at the end of the second. I heard a second intermission, listened to a little 5-10 minutes of an interview. But yeah, I didn't stay with it there. But yeah, it's off and running, Clint.
Off and skating.
It'll be winter before we know it. 49 days from now, right?
At the end of the best streak ever. Kyler, you have a play of the day for us.
4 receiver set. Carter now in motion right to left. Morton. Straight back blitz is coming. He reads it. And Dickey wide open at the 40. 45 midfield. He's got the middle of the field. And he's going to run all the way to the house. Touchdown, Red Raiders. You can't allow them to get one in the end zone and start making this competitive again. Now a deep pass down the right side. And it is intercepted. Up high to pull it down is Brendan Jordan.
What a game from the Red Raiders as they were victorious over the Houston Cougars 35-11. At the beginning of the week, I said in my prediction that the front seven would make their presence be known, and that they did. It was David Bailey getting 2 sacks, whether it was Ben Roberts keeping his head in the game, looking alive, playing to the whistle, recovering a backwards pass that was a fumble, and then Jacob Rodriguez just doing Jacob Rodriguez things. I love this team, and this defense is incredible to watch. Not taking anything away from the offense, but
well, we play defense at Texas Tech.
Yes.
Go Red Raiders, baby.
Speaking of which, your top 10 quarterback pressure leaders, you want to guess who tops that list? But you can't get it.
Bailey.
David Bailey with 33. Reuben Bain Jr., who's also very, very good from Miami, is second on that list with 30. And then you go to 7th, and Romello Height is in that top 10 still.
Yeah, I like that too. Can't imagine, watching Tyree Wilson do what he did for, 2/3, 3/4 of the season, 2 years or 3 years ago now. And what that would have looked like with, really with the front four around him. But just what he was, I can still visualize, I can still see him from my seats just folding a pocket down. And I don't mean like ripping a guy and getting underneath and swim move and all that kind of stuff. I'm talking about a time where he just took if my microphone is the quarterback, he just took that pocket and went and just smothered it. And he was going right through that tackle's chest. And like, man, this is not we haven't had this around here in quite a while.
Well,
but just to imagine, what that would have looked like, because he certainly goes on that list of all-time best pass rushing DN types, and we've had a few good ones. But
he's on the freak list there for you,
as evidenced by the 7th, 8th overall pick. But these two guys doing what they're doing at the same time with the interior that they're playing next to in front of those linebackers, it is a good thing to be able to lean on every week.
And I was thinking about when Jacob Rodriguez was interviewed, and he was talking about like just how fun it is to be on a defense that is really good and allows him to be really good. David Bailey has said the same thing. But when I was thinking about that with Rodriguez, and I was thinking about that with Roberts specifically, because they had to play on a defense that was worse talent-wise and also just not orchestrated well. And then youth and injuries and all this stuff. And I was like, boy, they probably appreciate being on this defense more than anybody. And then I stopped and thought about it. Well, where did some of these other guys come from? Like Skylar Gill-Howard was the best defender on his team. Romello Height was up there to be one of the best defenders on his team at Georgia Tech. David Bailey was certainly the best defender on his team. I was like, well, you know what? I bet a bunch of these guys that you're running through are probably feeling the same way. They just weren't a part of last year's group here. And so it is interesting how you've just, in the offseason, how impressive it was to kind of pluck the best guys from defenses as they entered the portal and put them all together. And what's even more impressive, Gus, is you've done it in a way that they have gelled from the get-go. I mean, from out of the gate, they have looked like a unit that's played alongside each other for a couple years now. And part of that, I think, is being a mature player and figuring out your role in the offseason, and also getting I think this is where the buy-in side of where Joey McGuire is so good at getting his guys to buy in. And now I think we're also learning, when you get to your coordinator, Shielwood, pretty dang good about getting guys to buy in. And I think the same thing about Mac Leftwich with the offense. But since we're talking about the defense right now, that's where I go. And so it's really impressive what you've put together on paper. But the danger of talking on paper is sometimes you don't live up to the hype. And so far, I understand also you're only 5 games in, and it's going to be a long 7 games that you have left on the regular season schedule, and hopefully 8 more Big 12 games with a run to the Big 12 championship, and then past that, with the playoff, all that stuff we're hoping. But right now, I mean, we thought this defense could be good, but if you were being honest with yourself, did you think it would be this, talk of the Big 12, nobody's close to your defense good?
Well, no, probably not. Not to this point. Again, I think the meat of the schedule is ahead of us. This may be the very best quarterback that we have faced. I think there's a pretty good case for that. So there's we're not ready to anoint them, but mercy, they've been good. And again, it's us winning games in a way that we haven't really tried to win games, at least across a broad stretch of a season this way. For the last 25 years, it's been outscore 'em, right? And now all of a sudden it's like, hey, you know what? Well, don't screw up anything on offense and let this defense work, right? And what we really want in a perfect world is to have both, right?
Sure.
High-flying offense and smothering defense.
We'll talk a little bit more about Saturday's matchup when we come back on Tech Talk. You got us on Double T 97.3.
The podcast put together with Red Raider fans in mind. This is the Tech Talk Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
It's interesting that you play that rejoiner, because I do it as a bit, but it's mostly because I do just love bomb pops. But Tech hasn't needed me this year yet. You know, the home games that you played, those three, well, they were never in jeopardy even once. I didn't think they would be, but we'll see about this week. I think it's Tech Talk on Double T 97.3, hour number 3. We'll get to some thoughts and comments on the Yates Flooring Center chat line in just a moment. You know, I've seen like, hey, should we be on upset watch this week? And when I think about Kansas, you have to take them seriously, but I'm going to say that every single week, and that's why I'm going to shut down any thought of a trap game on your schedule.
Okay.
Because I mean, if you're going to carry yourself, you know, like a hopeful conference champion would, you're not going to look past any opponent, and you're not going to. If you lose a game, it shouldn't be because, well, we were overlooking Kansas, or well, you know, we didn't take BYU seriously, so. Or even at the end of the year, if you do have a spot locked up, you're like, well, we lost in Morgantown to a really bad West Virginia team because we were looking at the Big 12 championship, and we're like that. That just should not be what happens, right?
Yeah.
But I do think Kansas is good enough to maybe come out on have a fast start.
I do too.
Have a really good. You could have a great defensive day, and I think you will. But they could also have a fast. A fast start, good first 15 play calls or something like that. Because the best thing about Kansas' offense is they are a big play offense, and you know, they have the ability, a couple of guys, to score at any moment. And so if they get a couple of those, you could still blow them out and keep them to a really good score, but they could get one or two. So I wouldn't be surprised if in the first quarter, if this seemed like it was going to be a nail biter, and then it absolutely did not end up that way.
Yeah, I agree. I hope that. I think Kansas will be ready to go. We'll see, but I hope that we're able to be really disruptive and just really good defensively. But I hope as a crowd we're able to be really disruptive in a way that creates genuine problems, like that they're post-game talking about that. I mean, has the trappings of a really noisy, good setup there. Mm-hmm. Now, they have a 6th-year quarterback who's never played against Texas Tech. Yeah, he was a pup during the COVID year. That's how old he is, right? Mm-hmm. This is, 2 years ago, preseason Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year?
Yeah.
And he can sling it, and they've done good things a couple times. Just coming into the game, it feels like this is a game where, you know, the thought of us outscoring somebody isn't crazy. That's why I said earlier. I mean, I don't bet, but this feels like an over type game. Hope we come out and defense puts it on them. Believe me, and that the crowd's a big part of it. But if this is a game where we have to score 45 points to get a little breathing room. Okay. And the way the defense has carried the water this year in so many ways, at least when it's really mattered, holding the line in Utah until we could open that thing up at the very end, etc., covering up for a bunch of threes and not sevens this past weekend in a way that we're able to just look back on it and it's kind of the footnote. But yeah, it feels like this Kansas team may be the one that gets into the 20s, but hopefully we're scoring, because the one thing Kansas really hasn't done is shut down a good offense yet, I don't think.
No.
Yeah.
Well, and this is why I think you could see them have a fast start against a good deep. Now, Missouri's defense is not what yours is, but it is good, and they're obviously a top 25 team that has things rolling right now. But Kansas went into as hostile of an environment as they'll see, and it's not because I don't think yours on any given day is as good as Missouri's, because yours is better on any given day as Missouri's. But that was, Gus, that's as much hate as you can have in a game, right? So the Tigers made sure to make that as horrible of a place as possible. There was extra on that game. It was the first time they'd played it in a while, and it was like they had never stopped that streak, right? And they went in there, and what happened? They jumped up by a few touchdowns, and they weren't really shaken by it. So I hope that, just from the environment that you do have that, certainly can't hurt. And I think I'm so excited to see what this crowd is like, because we still haven't got to see the full capacity big game crowd, because it got taken away from us with Oregon State. Yeah. And it was awesome, right?
It was.
I don't think even if they have a fast start, it will be to that extent, right? Because, I mean, Missouri was just shooting themselves in the foot. But if you're looking for a team that's had a fast start, mostly every game they've played, it's been Kansas. And that's partially because they've been so good out of the gate with play design and things like that, and their offensive coordinator, Zabrowski, is more to what they were a couple of years ago. You had the Jeff Grimes year where they got away from a lot of things that Jalen Daniels was good at, to me. But also, I look at that defense, to what you said, dude, they have not been able to tackle. They can't get off the field on third down. Fourth down is even worse. It's like a 75% clip against them, and like a lot of teams are just saying, what could this hurt? And so even if they had a respectable day offensively, I'm not sure that they'll be able to stop you from driving the field.
I like the sound of that. It feels like the kind of game that not turning it over, not letting them into the game with some of that kind of stuff is a big part of it, because they may be able to go drive the field and score and create some problems offensively, at least until the game settles down. Who knows? Maybe we're noisy enough to be hard to play against, and then defense settles down and starts wrecking them. I don't know. But I just don't think things will be easy this weekend defensively. But man,
and I think this is what they're talking about in that
go
building.
Out and just pile up touchdowns in a way that would smother a team offensively.
I think that they're going to reach the red zone a lot against Kansas's defense, and I think they're going to punch it in a lot, just in response to everybody knowing, including everyone in that building over there, that last week against Houston, that's
right.
Not taking a step back offensively because it was good, but that is not something that you need to do week in and week out, and you don't need to be a team that turns into but they're horrible in the red zone. They can't score touchdowns.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Give us your thoughts on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Plenty rolling in. We'll get to those, and also give you the juice when we come back.
It's every Red Raiders' favorite podcast. This is the Tech Talk Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
It's a Wednesday edition of Tech Talk. Thanks for making us a part of your afternoon. Clint Scott, Dr. Mike Gustafson, Kyler Brown behind the glass. Ask Tech Talk will be in 15 minutes from now. We got this on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. I've been listening to a bunch of YouTube podcasters about the AP poll, and early predictions of the playoffs. Several of them have Tech as a top 4 team. What is y'all's take on this? I think you could be a top 4 team.
Oh, eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought you meant like this weekend. Like, wow. I'm sort of
No, not kind of. I just think, yes, you absolutely could be, if you took care of business, a top 4 team. Do you want to run through?
I think the key there, Clint, is take care of business. Really, I mean, let's be honest. That means 13-0.
Yeah, that means undefeated Big 12 champion.
Right. Undefeated and the Big 12 champ. Yeah. Tournament. The championship game type. I mean, like the whole slate.
I'm gonna run through. There's probably still some that are missed, but some of the bigger college football playoff predictions and where you are right now. Right, and you tell me. I'm gonna say you tell me thumbs up or thumbs down, but you're in the playoffs in these, so probably thumbs up for all of them. You tell me which one you like the most. That is a 5 through higher seed, and which one you like the most that's a 1 through 4 seed. So CBS has you as the 5th seed hosting South Florida. Very much would like you in that matchup. Number 6.
Ooh, yeah, I would too. That'd be not saying any of those matchups would be just a walk in the park, but
this is from ESPN. They has you as the 6th seed hosting the 11 seed Texas A&M. That's not the first time that one's been thrown out there. That one would be wild. Mm-hmm. Another ESPN one from Mark I can't even remember how to say his name. Schlabach.
Oh, Schlabach, yeah.
Schlabach has you as the 9
Mark
seed.
Schlereth.
No. Has you as the 9 seed going to the 8 seed Alabama. So you'd be headed to Tuscaloosa. USA.
And that surely involves us having a loss, right?
I would think so.
Got to.
I would think
that's
so.
Either that or that's a lot of teams that have run the table and or some big brand names and big brand name conferences that have one loss.
My guess is for these, if you're a traveling team in the first round, they have you losing at least a
something.
game. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, either the Big 12 championship game or one of these games here along the way, and then running the table. Another
one flips it and has you as the 8 seed and Alabama as the 9 seed hosting Alabama. That'd be pretty fun. USA Today, Eric Smith has you as the 9, and you're at the 8 seed Notre Dame. So going to South Bend in that one. There's a couple. I think the one that is the most in line where a couple of people have it where you're the 5 and they have South Florida as the group of 5 and you hosting them. Another one has, from Sports Illustrated, has Tulane. So you get to see a former BYU quarterback in that one.
Yeah, very true.
Let's see. Athlon has you as the 8 hosting the 9 Indiana. In that one, On 3 has you as the 8 hosting Georgia as the 9. I think the highest you're seeded is number 3, and you're a couple of times. College Football News has you as the 3 seed and has LSU advancing as the 6 to CU. So you'd get to see them in the Sugar Bowl for that one. Boy, gosh. Seeing LSU in the Sugar Bowl going to New Orleans. I don't know why I said it that way. To New Orleans. Those crowds would be wild because you would certainly travel. Another one has you as the 7. This from Palm Brackets hosting the 10 seed Ole Miss. Another one, this is Bud Elliott's at cover 3. You as the 4, and most likely would be hosting Alabama as the 5 in that one. A lot of Tech Alabama crossover in this in different ways too, which is interesting. Another one, U7 hosting 10 LSU. And then another one is 5 for you. This is from Projection Sports. You're the 5 hosting the 12 Memphis. Could they be walking here? Probably driving. And then from Pick 6 Previews, another 3 has you hosting the winner of Oregon as the 7 and Ole Miss as the 10.
That'd be a challenge, yeah.
You have a favorite in there?
Man, no, I don't. I mean, just
I think I'd prefer you as the number. I think that last one, you taking on the winner of Ole Miss or Oregon.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, if not a 5-12 scenario, just the that's they're walking that line there between are we wanting. I think there's some value in just our fan base having the opportunity to win a college football playoff game because we never really got to do the BCS bowl thing, and there would be some value in that, even if it didn't set us up for the perfect scenario run to the championship. But in the best case there, how about we're the 4 hosting the winner of 5-12? I'm sorry, we wouldn't be hosting that, but playing that game the next week.
Yeah. Here's another one for a bonus one. Kelly Ford, and they went ahead, and this is for their projections. And tomorrow we're going to get to some. They do a mulligans talk for their ratings, like who could lose and still make the playoff, things like that. Who's already eliminated, who can't lose another game, or they are eliminated for their projections. They have you as another one where you're a 7, hosting Ole Miss as the 10. And as they pick through the first thing, you'd advance to see the 2-seed Oregon, who would beat you, make it to the championship game, and lose to the 1-seed Ohio State per their projections.
That would be big boy football there.
Yeah.
That would be what we're all about that, right? That'd be great. Mm-hmm. Take care of Kansas and what?
That's
4 days?
Yeah. There's a
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 3 days. Thursday, Friday.
Yeah, if you're going to be in those top 4, you can't lose this week.
Absolutely. And we got a big drone show this weekend.
That's right.
Yes, rescheduled from earlier this season.
What did they say in the tech tweet? Later is now, or it is later?
I like it.
That's Tech Talk coming up next.
This has been the Tech Talk Podcast, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Check out our library of Double T 97.3 podcasts at doublet97.3.com.